All right, so today we're going to take a deep dive into something pretty fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
Lean, or sometimes it's called purple drink.
Mm-hmm.
I think you probably heard it referenced in hip-hop music quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
But what is this stuff? So we've got excerpts from the Wikipedia article on lean,
Okay.
and we're going to kind of break down what exactly this thing is.
Cool.
It's an interesting mix of cultural influence, but also some serious potential risks.
It is.
So let's dive in.
Well, the wild thing is, like, lean, it's not some fancy lab-created drug.
Right.
You know, it's really a homemade concoction.
Oh, wow.
Like DIY pharmacology.
So, okay, let's break down this recipe.
Yeah.
What do you need to make this purple drink?
Well, the base of it is prescription strength cough syrup.
Okay.
We're not talking about like the over-the-counter.
Right.
You got a little sniffle.
Right.
This is the heavy-duty stuff.
Got it. So this is serious stuff.
Yeah, potent ingredients in this.
So what are the main ingredients? What are the things that go into this that make it so potent?
Yeah, so the real stars of the show are promethazine and codeine.
Okay.
Now, promethazine is an antihistamine.
Yeah.
You know, something you might find in allergy medications.
Right.
But codeine, this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Codeine is an opioid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Opioid cough syrup, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're not talking about like your grandma's cough syrup.
No, no, no.
This is something different.
Definitely not.
So how does this become purple? Like what else is in the mix?
Right. So they take this potent cough syrup, they mix it with a soda, usually like a Sprite or Mountain Dew.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll even toss in some hard candy like Jolly Ranchers.
Interesting.
That's where the purple color usually comes from.
Okay.
Although it can vary depending on like what specific brands they use.
So you're telling me this drink, potent cough syrup, soda, hard candy,
Yeah.
it's a popular recreational drug.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, this drink.
That's wild.
It's particularly popular in the southern U.S.
Okay.
And it has a pretty long history, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it goes all the way back to like the 1960s with blues musicians in Houston.
Oh, wow.
Back then, they'd mix Robitussin with beer.
Oh.
And then later, they switched to wine coolers.
Wow, so they were experimenting.
Yeah, like this evolving recipe.
So this purple drink has been kind of simmering in the background for decades.
Yeah.
Almost like a secret recipe,
It is.
except with some dangerous ingredients.
Exactly. And by the 80s and 90s,
Okay.
the recipe kind of took a turn. Codeine, promethazine, cough syrup became like the main thing.
Okay.
And then this Houston rapper, DJ Screw, he comes along and really propels it into the mainstream.
DJ Screw, now that name rings a bell.
Yeah.
Wasn't he known for a specific type of music?
Absolutely. Yeah, he was super famous for this chopped and screwed music.
Oh, yeah.
You know, slow, hypnotic beats.
Like listening to music underwater almost?
Yeah, like it was slowed down. Some people even said it sounded like, you know, the music itself was on lean.
So you've got this slow, hazy music style
Right.
combined with these lyrics about purple drink.
Exactly.
So no wonder it became intertwined with the culture.
Yeah, it's really interesting how music and culture can intersect like that.
Yeah.
DJ Screw's music, the lyrics, they helped solidify lean's place in hip-hop.
But I imagine there's a flip side to this.
Oh, there is.
What are the actual effects of this drink?
Yeah, so people seek out lean for a few reasons.
Okay.
It can create this sense of euphoria, kind of a mild high, a feeling of dissociation from reality,
Okay.
and it brings on drowsiness and lethargy as well.
So it's like a hazy, slowed down feeling.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Kind of like DJ Screw's music.
Uh-huh. But here's the thing, though,
Okay.
and it's important to remember this.
Yeah.
These effects are linked to some serious motor impairment.
Okay.
We're talking about an opioid and a central nervous system depressant working together here.
Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It can be.
Yeah.
Codeine, when taken in large amounts,
Yes.
can lead to something called respiratory depression.
Okay.
That means your breathing slows down.
Oh, wow.
In extreme cases, it can stop altogether.
That's scary.
It's a real danger.
So even though people might be drawn to that slowed down feeling,
Right.
there are some pretty serious consequences.
Definitely. It's like playing with fire.
Yeah.
And then if you add alcohol into the mix,
Oh,
it's like pouring gasoline on that fire.
wow.
It increases the risk of respiratory depression and other complications.
So this is a deceptively sweet drink
Mm-hmm.
that masks some pretty serious pharmacological power.
Right.
How often do these risks actually have like real world consequences?
Well, sadly, more often than you might think.
Oh, really?
There are a lot of high-profile cases that highlight just how dangerous lean abuse can be.
Right.
It's not just a theoretical risk. It's
Yeah.
a harsh reality for many.
Well, let's dive into some of those cases. I think it's important to understand the human cost of this drug
Yeah,
and how its popularity has led to some pretty tragic outcomes.
definitely. Well, one of the most well-known cases, and it was like a tragic turning point,
Right.
was the death of DJ Screw himself.
Oh, wow.
In 2000, just months after lean kind of hit the national scene,
Yeah.
he died from an overdose.
Oh, no.
Codeine and promethazine were in the mix.
Yeah.
But there was also Valium and PCP.
Wow.
It was a real stark reminder of the dark side
Yeah.
of this seemingly trendy drink.
He was at the forefront of this whole wave,
Yeah.
and it came crashing down on him.
It really highlights the dangers of mixing drugs,
Yeah.
how quickly things can spiral out of control.
Right.
It wasn't just DJ Screw, though.
Oh.
Another rapper from Houston, Big Mo,
Mm-hmm.
frequently rapped about lean in his music.
Right.
He died of a heart attack at just 33.
Oh, wow. That's so young.
Yeah, and while it wasn't officially confirmed,
Yeah.
many believe his lean use contributed to his health problems.
It's heartbreaking to see these talented artists
Yes.
whose lives were cut short,
Yeah.
especially when their music was so influential in popularizing this drink.
Mm-hmm. Their deaths were like a wake-up call for the hip-hop community.
Right, like a reality check.
You're right. These incidents sparked a lot of conversations
bet.
about the dangers of lean.
Yeah.
And then in 2007, Pimp C from the legendary rap duo UGK,
Oh, yeah, Eugene.
he passed away.
Oh, wow.
And the coroner's report, it was very clear.
Okay.
His death was attributed to promethazine codeine effects,
Wow.
made worse by his sleep apnea.
So it's one thing to know the risks in theory,
Right.
but these real-life stories really hit home
They do.
that this stuff can be deadly.
And it's not just rappers either.
Oh, really?
Professional athletes have fallen victim to lean's grip as well.
Wow.
We've seen NFL players like Terrence Keel and Johnny Jolly
Okay.
face legal trouble
Yeah.
for possession,
Right.
and even intent to distribute codeine syrup,
Wow.
all tied to lean production.
So this goes beyond the music industry.
Yeah.
It's like this allure of lean
Yeah.
seeped into other areas of pop culture.
Mm-hmm. The consequences were felt far and wide.
And it seems like it's still an issue today.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you mentioned earlier, there's this legal lean trend.
Right.
What is that all about?
Well, some companies saw a business opportunity, I guess you could say.
Okay.
They're marketing drinks that look and sound a lot like purple drink.
Oh, really?
Yeah, playing off that whole aesthetic.
Right.
But the key difference is they don't contain codeine or promethazine.
So what are they putting in these drinks then?
They use things like herbal ingredients and melatonin.
Okay.
Their marketing often focuses on like a slow your roll effect.
Slow your roll.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Well, I mean, it's not exactly the same.
Right.
Melatonin is a hormone that regulates sleep,
Okay.
so it can make you drowsy.
Okay.
And some herbal ingredients might have, relaxing properties.
Okay.
But the science behind these claims is often pretty shaky.
So they're trying to capture the essence of lean
Mm-hmm.
without those dangerous ingredients.
Yeah, but is that really a good idea?
I don't know. It seems kind of iffy.
It seems like they're capitalizing on a culture
Yeah.
that's been deeply affected by lean addiction.
Yeah. Are they just harmlessly riding this wave?
Right.
Or are they exploiting a vulnerable community for profit?
That's the big question.
That's a tricky ethical dilemma.
It is.
It seems like they're playing a dangerous game.
Yeah.
It's like a candy-coated version of a serious problem.
It's a valid concern, and the comparison to candy cigarettes comes to mind.
Oh, yeah.
These products, even though they're legal,
Right.
might inadvertently normalize
Right.
and glamorize a behavior
Yeah.
that has had devastating consequences.
That's a great point. It's like sending mixed messages,
Mm-hmm.
especially to younger generations.
Yeah.
But before we get too deep into the ethics of it,
Yeah.
I want to go back to the sensory experience of drinking lean. What makes this drink so appealing, just on a physical level?
That's actually a key part of the appeal,
Good.
especially for first-time users.
Okay.
Think about it, sugary soda, thick syrup, sweet hard candy.
Right.
It's a unique combination of flavors and textures.
Yeah.
People describe it as being quite enjoyable.
So it's not just about the effects of the drug.
Right.
It's also about the sensory experience itself.
Exactly. It's almost like a ritualistic experience.
Wow.
That can be a powerful draw.
Yeah.
Especially for those seeking a sensory escape.
But that sensory appeal can be dangerous.
Oh, definitely.
Because it masks the potency of the drugs.
It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about the addictive nature of lean.
Right.
When people try to quit, the withdrawal symptoms can be brutal.
Lil Wayne was pretty open about his struggles with lean.
He was.
I remember an interview where he described the withdrawal as
Yeah.
feeling like death in your stomach.
It's a pretty vivid description.
It is.
Gives you a glimpse into the severity of the addiction.
Yeah.
You've got to remember that people often mix lean with other drugs, alcohol.
Right.
It makes the withdrawal process even more complicated.
Right. Yeah.
And dangerous.
So this is a multifaceted problem.
It is.
A culturally significant drink
Mm-hmm.
that's also highly addictive
Yeah.
and potentially deadly.
Right.
And now we've got these legal versions popping up,
Right.
blurring the lines even more.
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack.
It really is.
It's like a tangled web of culture, commerce, and addiction.
Yeah.
Not easy to untangle.
So where do we go from here?
Right.
What are the key takeaways from this deep dive into the world of lean?
Well, I think the first step is awareness.
Okay.
We need to educate ourselves about the history of lean,
Mm-hmm.
the reasons behind its appeal,
Yeah.
the very real dangers associated with it.
And we need to be critical thinkers,
Absolutely.
especially when it comes to these commercially available lean drinks.
Yeah.
Are they harmless fun? Or are they contributing to this culture of substance abuse?
That's the question.
We need to ask tough questions.
Yeah.
Look into the marketing hype.
Mm-hmm.
Be mindful of the messages we're sending to younger generations
Definitely.
who might be more susceptible to this.
Right.
It's about looking at the bigger picture
Exactly.
and understanding that lean is more than just a drink.
It is.
It's a cultural symbol
Yeah.
with a complex and often troubling history.
Mm.
You know, it's interesting when you think about it, like hip-hop culture has had this really complex relationship with lean.
It has.
On the one hand, it's played a huge role in bringing it into the mainstream.
That's true. Yeah, you can't really talk about lean without acknowledging its place in hip-hop music and culture.
But then you also have a lot of artists who've been really vocal about the dangers,
Absolutely.
and they've used their platforms to try and raise awareness.
Yeah, a lot of artists have spoken out about their own struggles with it or the losses they've experienced because of lean.
Right? It's like a cautionary tale
It is.
woven into the fabric of the music.
Yeah.
You have songs glorifying it, but then you also have songs talking about the addiction and the loss.
Yeah, it's that push and pull
Yeah.
that makes it so important to have these conversations and to approach the topic with nuance. You know, it's
Okay.
not about demonizing a whole genre of music or a culture.
Right.
It's about recognizing the complexities
Mm.
and having open and honest discussions about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
It's like anything else. There's always more than one side to the story.
Exactly.
And with lean, it's important to understand all those perspectives.
I agree. And I think when we understand the history, the influences, the lived experiences that surround lean, we can start to make more informed choices.
Right. So where do we go from here? What can our listeners do to be a part of the solution, especially with this legal lean trend?
Well, I think education is key.
Okay.
The more you know about a drug, its effects, its risks, its history, the better equipped you are to make informed decisions.
All right.
Don't be afraid to share that knowledge with others, especially young people who might be more susceptible to the allure of this stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's also about not taking everything at face value,
Right.
whether it's music, social media, even those legal lean drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Be a critical thinker.
Absolutely.
Ask yourself, what's the message here? Is this promoting something harmful?
Yeah. Challenge the glamorization of drug use. Advocate for responsible marketing practices.
Mhm.
We all have a role to play in creating a healthier and more informed society.
Well said. So you've heard it here. Lean is more than just a drink.
It's a cultural phenomenon.
Intertwined with serious health and societal consequences.
Absolutely.
Remember those seemingly harmless legal lean drinks? Don't tell the whole story.
No, they don't. The stories of DJ Screw, Big Mo, Pimp C, and so many others are really powerful reminders of the devastating potential of lean addiction.
So let's learn from the past and work together to build a future where creativity can thrive without being overshadowed by substance abuse.
Well said.
You've been listening to The Deep Dive.
Catch you next time.